Gonna make this go live.
Stand up. Everybody stand up.
Stand up.
Gonna make. Okay, before I start, we're starting a little bit early. So if anyone knows that they have made arrangements for a lawyer to be present, please let me know so that we can wait on your lawyer, okay? Good morning, everyone. This is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County. My name is Brad Gardner, and I'm a judge in this court. I'm not here to conduct a trial of your case or to take a plea in your case. I am here to inform you of the charges that have been filed against you, to advise you of certain rights, to set bail on those offenses that I'm authorized to set bail, to schedule a preliminary hearing, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing. But should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you if your case goes to trial. So please don't discuss the facts of your case. During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights: the right to the presumption of innocence, the right to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors, the right to a speedy and public trial by jury, the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who were called to testify against you, the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf, the right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense, the right to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail, and these bonds may be posted by cash, commercial, or property. If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond and fees in cash to the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office will hold the cash and return it at the end of the case. If you use a commercial bonding company, someone will have to pay a fee to the company for their service. The fee will not be returned. I don't know what fee will be charged, but it is usually based upon a percentage of the bond. Finally, if you use property to post the bond, the property will need to have a net equity at least 3 times the total amount of the bond. Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to certain places. This special condition will be provided to you on a separate form. You will also be prohibited from contacting the victim while you are in jail. If you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you could remain in jail until your trial. You can also receive additional felony charges. It is important to note that if someone is listed as a victim in your case, that person will not be allowed to post your bond. Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail. In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a judge of the Superior Court of Clayton County, and you will be informed of that date. If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond at this time. Where the bond is appropriate in your case will be reconsidered after your probation officer has had an opportunity to consider this new arrest. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to support the allegations against you. The standard at this stage is very low. A judge determining whether a charge goes forward at this stage only has to determine that it is possible that the crime occurred. Everyone has the ability to waive their right to a preliminary hearing. However, you should speak to a lawyer first if you are unsure about whether it is appropriate to waive your preliminary hearing. If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived. You will receive notice at the address you give of your next court date. Finally, I need everyone to raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that any statements you make during this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's start with Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, you've been charged with 1 count of theft by receiving stolen property, 1 count of violation of Georgia seatbelt law, and 1 count of tampering with evidence. You're going to have a total bond set at $10,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 7th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, sir.
You're going to hire your own lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any questions of me, Mr. Brown?
Sir, is there any way I can get like a smaller bond, just about chance a little bit?
No.
That's cheap as my bond can go.
It's what I'm setting it at, and it's based on $5,000 for the stolen gun and $5,000 for the tampering with evidence. The seatbelt is just $500 bond.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, sir?
No, that's it.
Okay, you're free to go back. Mr. Burden? Mr. Burden, you've been charged with 1 count of possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute, and 1 count of possession of a Schedule 1 drug, being the marijuana. You're going to have a total bond set at $15,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
15,000. I really honestly don't know. I haven't had to call. I think that's really too high. I just moved down here in November. I'm self-employed. I don't have a job.
Okay. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
That's a public defender, you said?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Burden. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived. If you're able to bond out, I would encourage you to contact the bonding companies that are authorized to write bonds here, because they will work with you. Do you have any questions of me? Okay, you're free to go back. Mr. Carter, are you Mr. Carter?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Carter, you've been charged with 1 count of financial transaction card theft and 1 count of manufacturing, selling, or distributing false identifications. I'm going to set your total bond at $30,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
We're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 7th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out. Are you going to hire your own lawyer, represent yourself, or do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? You do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me? I'm sorry, did you say no?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, Mr. Carter.
Joseph Holmes.
Okay, Mr. Coleman, you've been charged with 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, meaning possession of more than an ounce of marijuana, or possession with intent to distribute marijuana, and violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act with the possession of the marijuana. I've also set your bond at $15,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Sir, yes, sir.
I'm sorry?
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. And you should be aware, it looks like a number of people were arrested at this address and charged with the same thing. Because of that, there are probably going to be conflict-related issues, meaning a lawyer is going to have to be appointed for everyone. So that may add a little bit of time because they're going to have to go and get a number of lawyers. Okay. Any other questions?
Is there any way I can get a reduced fine, sir?
No, sir.
All right, thank you.
Everybody's going to have a $15,000 bond that was arrested at that house.
Okay.
Okay. All right. You're free to go back.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Denny, you've been charged with possession of more than an ounce of marijuana, possession of a Schedule I drug, crossing the guard line with drugs in your possession, and possession of a Schedule II drug. You're going to have a total bond that's going to be set at $17,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
I'm not sure, sir.
Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Sure.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Denny. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. And you may be in the same situation as the other gentleman where there is someone else arrested with you. So there may be conflict related issues. So one of you may get a public defender and one of you may get a lawyer that takes a private attorney that takes indigent cases. Okay. All right. Do you have any questions of me, sir? Okay. You're free to go back.
English. Not today. Regarding English, sir?
Mr. English, you've been charged with 2 counts of criminal trespass. Set a total bond at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you do qualify, Mr. English. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Thank you, sir.
Do you have any questions of me?
I'm not really sure what I need to pay. Do I need to pay 4,000 or 5,000, or I need to pay through a bond agency? I'm not really sure what I need to do, but I can do either, but I'm not sure what my options are.
It sounded like you were asking about the procedures for bonding out.
I was.
Okay, so the sheriff's department will give you a list of companies that are authorized to write bonds here in this county, and it's be incumbent upon you to call them, tell them your charges, and tell them your bond amount, and they'll tell you what fee that they'll charge. You can also post the entire amount in cash, give it to the sheriff's department. They'll hold that and return it to you when your case is over. Or if you have property that has value of at least $15,000, $16,000, you can use the property to post your bond.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, you're free to go back.
Moving forward.
Mr. Ford, you're charged with 1 count of family violence battery and 1 count of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. These are both misdemeanors. You're going to have an $8,000 bond set, but there's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Ciani Milan. Okay. Do you understand the stay away provision? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 8th. And that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify, Mr. Ford. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me? All right, you're free to go back. You're welcome. Are you Mr. Hernandez Nava? Okay, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of driving a vehicle without a license, 1 count of possession of less than an ounce of marijuana, and 1 count of use or possession of drug-related objects. These are all misdemeanors. You're going to have a total bond set at $3,500. Do you believe you can post that bond? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 8th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? I'm sorry, sir, I can't hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Since I didn't have a license, but I did have a picture of it. Could that be waived off?
So this is not the time to determine whether you're guilty or innocent. Make sure whatever documentation you have, show it to the lawyer, and the lawyer be the person that could get this charge dismissed if that's in line. Okay.
I was just, they didn't have a picture of the license. I didn't have the license on me. That's all I just asked.
Okay, no problem. You're free to go back, sir.
Anthony Hooks.
Mr. Hooks, you're charged with 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, meaning possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, and 1 count of possession of marijuana. Your bond is going to be set at $15,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 7th at 8:30 in the morning. The date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? I'm sorry, sir? Okay, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, Mr. Hooks?
No.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Dante Jones.
Okay, Mr. Jones, you've been charged with 1 count of interference with government property. This is a misdemeanor. I've set the bond at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
So I'm incarcerated already.
Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 7th at 8:30 in the morning. I'm sorry, this is a felony that you're being charged with. It's going to be set at 8:30 in the morning. Where are you in the stage of your case as to why you're here in the jail? Have you been indicted and you have your case before a judge?
I'm a die, sir.
I'm sorry?
Yes, sir, I'm a die.
Okay. So this is going to get transferred to whatever judge that you already have. And I'm assuming you have a lawyer.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this case will get transferred to that judge and that lawyer. Do you have any other questions for me? Okay, you're free to go back. Okay, Mr. Manny Vaughn, you've been charged with 1 count of terroristic threats or acts. I've set the bond at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Saroon Mile, M-O-U-L. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thanks, sir.
Sorry, sir, tell me your name again.
Terrence Miller, sir.
Okay, Mr. Miller, you've also been charged with this possession of marijuana with intent to distribute and possession of marijuana. Your bond also is going to be set at $15,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
All right, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Tell me your name.
There's
Okay, Mr. Pearson, you've been charged with one count of family violence battery as a second offense, one count of simple battery, and one count of striking a fixed object. You're going to have a total bond set at $16,500. Do you believe you can post that bond? Okay. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Quishon bugs. Do you understand that stay away provision?
yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna let you speak in a second, okay? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 7th at 8:30 in the morning because this battery, family violence battery in second degree or second count is a felony, okay? Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Sorry, did you say yes or no?
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Now, what question did you have?
I wanted you to repeat the bond amount again.
Okay, $16,500.
I live in Albany, Georgia, South Georgia.
Okay.
My mom's lives down there. Is it possible for us to get a bonding company in South Georgia?
Well, it's possible, yes. Bonding companies sometimes will work with each other. So if your mother contacts the bonding company in South Georgia, and that company doesn't have an office here, that company can take that bond on and contact the bonding company here and pay them on your behalf.
Okay. So tell my mom
Okay?
she's a bonding company in South Georgia.
Yes, sir. But again, that bonding company, if they're not approved to write bonds in Clayton County, that bonding company cannot write a bond. But they can contact a company here that is authorized and work with them. You may end up having to pay more money because you have two companies involved.
So it's
Okay?
16,000. What they ask for 10% or 15%?
Okay. So bonding companies charge anywhere from, I think, 10 to 12%. So 10% of $16,000 is $1,600. That doesn't mean that that's what the fee is going to be. You're going to have to contact them, tell them your name, your charges, and your bond amount, and they'll tell you what fee that they'll charge you. Okay? Anything else, sir?
Is there anybody get a reduced bond?
Sir, you were close to not getting the bond at all because this is a second, it's being charged as another battery against the same victim. That's why it's being charged as a felony. Okay, so whatever happened, just make sure it doesn't happen again in the future, okay?
And one more thing, I wasn't read my Miranda rights. I would just put a handcuff and drop
because there were warrants out for your arrest. If they don't need you to make a statement, they don't need to Mirandize you. Miranda, all that does is if you said, hey, this is where the drugs are hidden, and you weren't Mirandized. They asked you, where are the drugs? You say the drugs are hidden here, and you weren't Mirandized, that statement may get thrown out or it may not. I don't know. But you're being charged with battery. They don't need a statement from you. Okay? Any other questions, sir? All right, you're free to go back. Mr. Porter, you've been charged with 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce, 1 count of not having a license, and 1 count of not having a tag. The bond for all of these offenses are set by schedule, which means they're automatically set. You're going to have a total bond of $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? I'm sorry, sir, I can't hear you. I still can't hear you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 8th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to find that you qualify, Mr. Porter. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
All right, you're free to go back.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
next is gonna be Chavez Rivera. He bonded out.
Okay,
So I'm pull up Shaw.
okay.
Say your name.
Andy Shaw, sir.
Mr. Shaw, you apparently yesterday, a law enforcement officer went and got another warrant for aggravated stalking based upon the incident that we discussed on Monday. And the allegation is that you were released on bond by Judge Mack back in February, and Judge Mack placed a stay away provision on you to stay away from Ms. Clark. So this phone call that was alleged to have been made violates that order. And so now the charges are being upgraded to aggravated stalking. Actually, it's an additional charge because you were charged with terrorist threats before. So this is another no bond situation. You're going to have the same dates as I gave you on Monday, June 7th, I'm sorry, for your preliminary hearing. And you've already gone through the process. Actually, you said you're going to hire your own lawyer. Is that still your intent?
I already got a lawyer.
Okay. All right. So any questions, Mr. Shaw?
I mean, you know, I don't understand because I didn't call her. I haven't made no contact with her, period.
So remember what we talked about on Monday?
But not really, sir.
Okay. So on Monday, you said you did not make a phone call. And I advised you to make sure you discuss that with your lawyer and make sure your lawyer gets your phone records. Okay? Because that's either going to show that a call was made or it's going to show that a call wasn't made.
I need to get her phone record or my phone record.
Your phone records. Okay? All right, you're free to go back, sir.
So I ain't got no phone.
No, sir.
Stop that. You mean, see, he's got okay.
Got Stephen.
Okay, give me 1 second, sir. Mr. Stevens, you've been charged with 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, 1 count of says possession with intent to distribute a controlled substance and 1 count of speeding, you're going to have a total bond of $8,500. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
I'm not exactly sure, Your Honor.
Okay. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, Your Honor.
You said yes?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Did you say that speeding is actually a criminal offense?
Yes, it's a misdemeanor. And in the state of Georgia, misdemeanors, even traffic-related misdemeanors, carry a maximum fine of $1,000 and 12 months in jail. Anything else, Mr. Stevens?
Sure.
Okay, sir, you're free to go back.
Where's Taylor?
Okay, Mr. Taylor, you've been charged with 1 count of driving on a suspended license, 1 count of an open container violation, and 1 count of having a vehicle with an altered tag. All of these bonds are set by schedule, which means they're automatically set. You're going to have a total bond of $2,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Sir, there was another, I'm sorry, Your Honor, there was another charge of a gun possession.
Okay, hold on. Let me repeat it. 1 count of driving while having a suspended license. 1 count of an open container violation, like having a beer can or whatever in the car. And the last charge, it says the name is use of license plate concealment, but what it basically comes down to is saying that the tag that you had was not the right tag for the vehicle. Okay. So the bond for that is $500. The bond for the open container is $500. And the bond for driving with a suspended license is $1,500. Okay. So do you believe you can post that bond?
My concern is that there should be one more charge. That's what I'm trying to do, because I had that already for the other charge.
I'm sorry, you're right. Possession of firearm by a convicted felon. And that somehow did not make it onto this bond sheet. So I'm going to add that, and I'm going to set a bond for that at $5,000. So you're going to have a total bond set of $7,500.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
No, thank you. Hold on, I'm adding it onto this bond order. So because that date is a felony, because that charge is a felony, your preliminary hearing date is going to be June 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Now, would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay. You do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any other questions of me?
Sorry, just one more question. Could you repeat the bond, the total bond amount? And that's all.
The total bond amount is going to be $7,500. Okay. Any other questions? All right. You're free to go back.
Not the whole name.
How are you doing?
Okay, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, 1 count of criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree, and 1 count of burglary. I've set your total bond at $20,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? No? Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? All right, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Is there any other charge, like violation of probation or something?
Not on this, but you should expect probably that to catch up to you in a minute. Okay?
Nothing was really stolen from the house. Like, it was just a house, and the house. So I don't know the reason why they took kind of burglary.
Well, burglary is, you don't have to take something for a burglary charge to be complete. It's just entering a dwelling without permission with the intent to commit a felony therein. Okay, you're free to go back. Mr. Waters?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you've been charged with burglary, false imprisonment, cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, and criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree. All of these are felonies except for the cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. I'm denying bond on the burglary and false imprisonment charge at this point. I'm putting a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from LaDedria Cunningham. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. I understand that, sir. Can I ask you something, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, I stay there, sir, and I don't know how I got a burglary.
Well, the allegation was that you haven't lived there since August of 2020.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
So the allegation that you threw a brick through the glass patio door and came in and started threatening people. And the allegation is that you held Ms. Cunningham against her will.
Yes, sir. Now, that's the one that I want to talk to that's the one right there, sir. When she was on the phone when I was outside, she had my stuff, she locked me out.
Hold on, Mr. Waters, Mr. Waters. So everything you're telling me is going live, okay?
Yes, sir.
I would prefer you not talk about the facts of your case. Wait till you talk to your lawyer about the facts of the case. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Because anything you tell me is not going to make your situation better. It can only make it worse.
I understand that, sir. I just want you to help me understand something, sir. Like, when I did break the window, how am I holding her false imprisonment when she already in the house? I didn't do anything to her. The only thing I did was come in and try to get my stuff. I didn't hold her.
See, Mr. Waters, you have already basically convicted yourself by what you just said without even speaking to a lawyer first. That's why I said you're only gonna, I'm here to listen and answer questions, help you understand the charges, get you a lawyer, that kind of stuff. I cannot dismiss your case. So anything you tell me can only make your situation worse. Okay, do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Please, sir.
All right, you do qualify. Make sure that you speak to your lawyer about the case. Now, you may also want to tell your lawyer about what you just said, because you kind of convicted yourself.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir, because I take responsibility, sir. It's just some of the stuff I just want to agree with the charge. That's all. But anyway, Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Okay, you're free to go back, Mr. Waters.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So, is Mr. Welch OTB?
Welch, yes, sir.
Okay. So
He's over.
is this Mr. Salas?
Yes, sir.
We're still waiting on the interpreter. So we're gonna have to hold him for a few minutes. So I apologize that it's gonna extend your time there, but I don't wanna do this without the interpreter being present. Okay, so just have a seat, Mr. Salas. All right, let's switch over to the ladies' side.
Yes, Your Honor.
It's Miss Allen, OTB.
Pull your face mask up. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Miss Armstrong,
Yes.
ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. I'm setting the bond at $1,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Oh, I had to go by the bank. It's the only way I can get it out.
Okay. I'm also putting a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from 12-214 Crestwood Court. Do you understand that?
Yes, but I still have property there. I can't go get it.
As you're bonding out, make arrangements with the sheriff's department, and they will meet you there at a set time so you can get your items. Okay.
Okay.
This is a misdemeanor offense, so you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 8th. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. That preliminary hearing date will be waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
No.
Okay, you're free to go back. You are Miss Bailey?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of hit and run, leaving the scene of an accident, and 1 count of homicide by vehicle in the 1st degree. These are both felony charges. Bond is going to be denied at this point. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
I have one, sir.
Okay. Tell your lawyer that your preliminary hearing date is going to be June 7th at 8:30 in the morning. And I'm also giving you a bond hearing date of June 11th at 8:30 in the morning. Do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Are you Miss Ellington?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute, and 1 count of possession of marijuana more than an ounce. Your bond is going to be set at $15,000 like the other individuals. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 7th, like the other individuals. Do you believe you can post this bond, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When you post your bond, you're going to get a new court date in the mail. So that June 7th date will go away. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. But like I said before, it seems like there are a number of people arrested at this location. So there most likely going to be some conflict-related issues, and that may delay your getting a lawyer by a day or two. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You have any questions of me, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Ms. Erskine?
Erskine?
Erskine. Ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of simple assault and 1 count of giving a false name, address, or date of birth.
I didn't assault anybody, Your Honor. Could I ask who was claimed as an assault?
Yes, give me 1 second.
Thank you.
All right, so just want to make sure. This simple assault charge is going to be dismissed. They didn't name a victim in here. It just says that you held up a wooden object that above your head. Sorry. It is named. So the allegation by the officer is that you picked up a wooden object, raised it above your head while holding it in your hand and stating that you were going to strike the officer with it while using profane language. So that's the simple assault. So a simple assault is where you don't touch anybody, but you make an action towards that person that could put them in reasonable fear.
Isn't that a threat? Isn't that claimed a threat, officer?
I'm sorry?
Isn't that, couldn't that be claimed a threat, or like, which is easier? To like,
Well, they could have charged you theoretically with terroristic threats or acts, and that's a felony. The simple assault is a misdemeanor.
right.
So it looks like they tried to cut you a break.
Misdemeanor, I take the misdemeanor.
Okay. So your total bond is going to be $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
I'm not from here, so I was trying to claim an ROR bond, so I don't believe I can make that at this time.
The ROL, we call them UJR, but it's something that for you to obtain that, I would have to speak to the chief, and she's currently conducting hearings, so that means you would have to stay in jail an extra day.
Okay.
Now, let me advise you. I had a bunch of people do it last week and ask for it, and she denied every one of them.
Yeah, I got robbed recently in Buffalo, New York, and I'm not from here. I live in South Carolina.
Okay.
So
Hold on.
it's very tough for me, Your Honor. I know it's asking for a lot, but I really have no other option.
Oh, ma'am, I can tell you, you're not going to get an OR bond.
There's no possible way in like a
You're,
maybe?
you're just arrested October 6th of last year.
Yeah, I was arrested October 6th of last year for assault on my mother because she terroristically threatened me, and I had bodily fluid to a police officer. So I am on bond, but I need to figure out somebody that can get my bondsman the money.
Ma'am, let me ask you a question. Are you currently taking any medications?
No, no, sir.
Okay. So,
Sorry.
the prior arrest in October, for the throwing of the bodily fluids and assault and battery in the 3rd degree, you're not gonna get an OR bond. You're just not.
Yeah, they went out pending at the moment. They've been pushed.
Ma'am, the allegation here is that you raised a piece of a wooden object and cussed at a cop and threatened a cop. You're not gonna get an OR bond.
Okay.
Okay. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, please.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for June 8th at 8:30 in the morning. And you may have your bond revoked in South Carolina when they find out about this. All right, any other questions, ma'am?
No, that's good. Thank you, Your Honor. Have a
Okay,
great day.
you too. You're free to go back.
Your Honor.
Good
Miss
morning.
Glass? Are you Miss Glass?
No, Your Honor, that's Miss Hurst, Julia Hurst.
Okay, Miss Hurst.
Yes, sir.
You are charged with 1 count of obstructing an officer, 1 count of simple battery on a police officer, and 1 count of disorderly conduct. You're going to have a total bond set at $7,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 7th at 8:30 in the morning. The obstruction charge, they're charging it as a felony offense. Upon bonding out, those dates will change and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Let's see. Do you have any questions of me?
No.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
We'll go back to.
Tell me your name, ma'am.
Brenda Gale Glass.
Okay. Ms. Glass, you're charged with 1 count of driving on a suspended license, 1 count of an open container violation, and 1 count of giving a false name, address, or date of birth. Your total bond is going to be set at $4,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Sir, yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 8th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived and you'll get a new court date in the mail upon bonding out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Sir, no, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ma'am, come on.
Are you Miss Perry?
Miss Pierce.
Okay, Miss Pierce. Give me 1 second, Miss Pierce. Our interpreter just became available. Let's switch back over. How you doing, Ms. Bermudez?
I'm well, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine. We just have one person for you today. His last name is Salas, S-A-L-A-S. He's charged with 1 count of terroristic threats or acts. Do you need his warrant number?
I got it, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Salas, sir, can you hear and understand the interpreter?
Señor Salas, ¿puede usted escuchar y entender a la intérprete?
Okay, sir, this is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County.
Señor, esta es su comparecencia inicial ante el Tribunal de Primera Instancia del Condado de Clayton.
I'm not here to conduct a trial of your case or take a plea in your case.
Yo no estoy acá para tener un juicio en su caso o para aceptar una declaración a cargos en su caso.
I'm here to tell you that you've been charged with 1 count of terroristic threats or acts.
Yo estoy acá para decirle que a usted se le acusa de un cargo de amenazas terroristas o de comportamiento terrorista.
You're going to have a bond set at $6,000.
Usted va a tener una fianza, la cual se la vamos a fijar a $6,000.
This bond could be posted by either paying the entire amount in cash to the sheriff,
Esta fianza usted la puede pagar ya sea llevando la cantidad total de su fianza a la comisaría.
the sheriff will hold the money and return it to you when your case is over.
Y la comisaría se quedaría con este dinero y se lo reembolsaría cuando su caso termine.
You can also use a bonding company that will charge you a fee.
Usted también podría hacer una compañía de fianzas, la cual le cobraría una tarifa.
I don't know the exact fee that they will charge, but it's usually based upon a percentage of your bond.
Yo no sé cuál sería la tarifa exacta que ellos le cobrarían, pero generalmente está basado en un porcentaje de la fianza.
Any fee you pay to the bonding company will not be returned to you.
Y cualquier tarifa que usted le pague a la compañía de fianza no le sería reembolsada.
You can also post a bond by using property, but the property has to have a value at least 3 times your bond amount.
Usted también puede pagar su fianza usando una propiedad, pero la propiedad tendría que tener un valor que sea por lo menos 3 veces la cantidad total de su fianza.
Do you believe you can post your bond?
¿Cree usted que va a poder pagar su fianza?
No necesito hablar.
No le escucho, señor.
No necesito hablar.
I need to make a phone call.
Okay. You will be allowed to use the phone when this hearing is over.
A usted se le va a permitir usar el teléfono cuando esta audiencia termine.
Okay.
You're going to have a stay away provision on your bond to stay away from Lucaro Lopez Perez.
Usted va a tener una orden en su fianza donde se le va a prohibir ponerse en contacto con Lucario López Pérez.
Do you understand that, sir?
¿Entiende usted esto, señor?
If you violate this order, your bond could be revoked and you could face felony charges.
Si usted quebranta o si usted viola esta orden, su fianza podría ser revocada y a usted le podrían imputar cargos por delitos graves.
During this and all other proceedings, you're going to have the following rights.
Durante este y todos los procesos siguientes, usted va a tener los siguientes derechos.
The right to the presumption of innocence.
El derecho a la presunción de inocencia.
The right to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors.
El derecho a que se le formule una acusación formal mediante el jurado indagatorio para los delitos graves o que se le formule una acusación para los delitos menores.
The right to a speedy and public trial by jury.
El derecho de tener un juicio público rápido y por jurado.
The right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you.
El derecho de ver, escuchar y contrainterrogar a los testigos que sean citados a testificar en su contra.
The right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf.
El derecho de citar a testigos para que testifiquen a su favor.
The right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense.
El derecho de testificar y de presentar pruebas para ser usados en su defensa.
Right to have an attorney represent you.
el derecho de tener un abogado para que los represente.
If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify.
Si usted no puede contratarse un abogado, se le podría nombrar uno para que los represente si usted califica.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
¿Le gustaría a usted que yo vea si usted califica para nombrarle un abogado? Yes.
You do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Usted sí califica y le voy a nombrar un abogado para que lo represente.
Okay.
You have the right, a preliminary hearing, scratch that, sorry. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to support the allegations against you.
El propósito de la audiencia preliminar es determinar si hay suficientes pruebas para sustentar las alegaciones en su contra.
Standard at this stage is very low.
Y los estándares en esta etapa son muy bajos.
A judge determining whether a charge goes forward at this stage only has to determine that it is possible that the crime occurred.
Para que un juez determine si un cargo procede en esta etapa, él solamente tiene que determinar que existe la posibilidad de que el delito fue cometido.
Everyone has the ability to waive their right to a preliminary hearing.
Cada uno tiene el derecho o la habilidad de renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar.
However, you should speak to a lawyer first if you are unsure about whether it is appropriate to waive your preliminary hearing.
Sin embargo, usted debe de hablar con un abogado primero si usted no está seguro si es apropiado renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar.
If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived.
Si usted paga su fianza, la audiencia preliminar se cancela automáticamente.
You will receive notice at the address you give of your next court date.
Y usted va a recibir un citatorio en la dirección que usted dé de su próxima corte.
Your preliminary hearing is currently scheduled for June 7th at 8:30 in the morning.
Su audiencia preliminar actualmente está programada para el 7 de junio a las 8:30 de la mañana.
Upon posting bail, that court date will be waived and you will receive a new one in the mail.
Si usted paga su fianza, esta audiencia se cancela y usted recibiría una nueva corte por correo, un nuevo citatorio por correo.
Do you have any questions of me, sir?
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta para mí, señor?
¿Podría ver mis hijas?
Can I see my daughters?
If your daughters are with your wife, that could be a problem if they are not old enough to transport themselves without your wife being present.
Si sus hijas están con su esposa, eso podría ser un problema si ellas no son lo suficientemente adultas para poder transportarse a sí mismas.
Tengo una hija adulta.
No le escucho.
Tengo una hija de 19 años.
I have a daughter who is 19 years old.
Yes, you can see your daughter, but you can't go around your wife.
Sí, usted puede ver a su hija, pero usted no se le puede acercar a su esposa.
Ok, ¿puede ir a sacar mis cosas?
Okay, can I go and get my things?
Upon bonding out, make arrangements with the sheriff's department for them to meet you at the location at a given time.
Tan pronto usted pague su fianza y salga, haga los arreglos con la comisaría para que ellos se reúnan con usted en el lugar.
A member of the sheriff's department will be present so that you may retrieve some of your items.
Y un funcionario de la comisaría va a estar presente para que usted pueda retirar alguno de sus artículos, de sus pertenencias.
But you have to make those arrangements through the sheriff's department.
Pero usted tiene que hacer esos arreglos con la comisaría.
Okay.
Any other questions?
¿Alguna otra pregunta?
No, es todo.
No, that's all.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Ok, puede retirarse.
Thank you, Ms. Bermudez. Have a good day.
You are welcome, Judge. You do the same.
Okay. Thank you on the male side. You also have a good day.
All right, Your Honor, you too.
All right, let's switch back over to the lady side.
My name is Maddie Ferry, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Perry, you're charged with 1 count of disorderly conduct and 1 count of obstructing an officer. You're going to have a total bond set at $3,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
No.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
All right, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for June 8th at 8:30 in the morning.
Yes, sir.
If for charges like this, if you are still in custody, they generally, I believe now they're generally dealing with these like every Monday for people with misdemeanors who are unable to post a bond.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
Your Honor, maybe the
Yes,
owner.
ma'am. I'm sorry.
I got obstruction of a cop.
Yes, it says that the disorderly conduct, they're saying that you were standing at your doorway yelling and using profane language while playing loud music and disturbing neighbors. It said that you willfully obstructed or hindered the law enforcement officer from conducting their investigation when you attempted to run back inside your home after being told that you were being arrested. So that's where the obstruction comes from.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, ma'am?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
Tell me your name, ma'am.
Precious Pierce.
Okay, Ms. Pierce, you've been charged with 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute, and 1 count of possession of a felony amount of marijuana. You're going to have the same $15,000 bond that I set for the other individuals. You're also going to have a June 7th preliminary hearing date. Do you believe you can post this bond, ma'am?
Yeah.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Kiera Sledge.
Okay, Ms. Sledge, you are charged with 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, being possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute, and 1 count of possession of a felony amount of marijuana. Your bond also is going to be set at $15,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
I do have one question. My question is, I have a vehicle. I was asking the officer if I could use that as collateral to assist with me bonding out.
I don't believe that you can use that as property as it relates to the sheriff's department.
Okay.
However, you may be able to make some kind of arrangements with the bonding company. I know they get creative sometimes, and they may either put a lien on the car or they may, do something else. But you probably would have to take that up with the bonding company.
Okay.
Any other questions, ma'am?
No, sir.
All right, you're free to go back.
Mhm.
You, Miss Whalen?
Yes.
Ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of simple battery, family violence. There's going to be a $4,000 bond set. Do you believe you can post that bond?
I have to contact my mother and see.
Well, your mother is listed as the victim in this case, and there's going to be a stay away provision to stay away from her. So you're not going to be able to contact her, and she's not going to be able to post your bond.
Okay, because I'm the head of household, so.
Okay. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? You don't, I mean, you can hire your own lawyer or you can represent yourself. I'm not trying to throw a lawyer down your throat if you don't want one. So do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
You said the bond is 4,000?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Ma'am, do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
yes.
Okay, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You can always fire this lawyer and hire a lawyer if you want. This isn't a thing where you're just gonna get the lawyer and you don't have any agency over that, okay? Any questions?
That's it.
All right, your preliminary hearing date is June 8th at 8:30 in the morning, and that'll get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Okay, you're free to go back, ma'am. Ms. Williams, you've also been charged with possession of marijuana with intent to distribute and possession of a felony amount of marijuana. Your bond also is going to be set at $15,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes. Go back to your thing.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Yes. If the charges are dropped, once I pay my bond, I can get that refunded, right? If the charges are dropped.
No. Once you pay the fee to the bonding company,
Talking
that
about the
fee.
sheriff.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was talking about to the sheriff.
Okay. So if you pay the entire amount of money to the sheriff's department, they will hold that money and return it to you when your case is over.
Okay, and the bonds place, they wouldn't give you your money if your charges are dropped? Because I've heard of that happen. For sure.
Okay. So it's two things that you're saying. I think you're mixing them together. If you go through a bonding company, you're paying that company for the service of bonding you out. So whatever money you pay them, they get to keep it because they bond you out. If you give the entire bond amount to the sheriff's department, they will hold that. And when your case is over, whether the charges are dismissed or whether you go to prison for 30 years, they still are going to give you the money back.
Okay, but you didn't go on about the bond company. Are they going to give me my money back if the charges are dropped?
Okay, what was the first thing I just said, ma'am?
You said the bond company will not give you your money back. You didn't say if the charges were dropped though, so I just wanted to confirm.
They will not give you your money back, period. Once you give it to them, it's like you go to a restaurant and you pay for a meal. And then you say, well, I didn't eat all of my meals, so I want my money back. The restaurant doesn't give you your money back because you didn't eat all of the meal. The bonding company doesn't give you your money back because your charges got dismissed.
Technically, it's a prime example of them bringing a plate out that's not your plate that you asked for.
Is she done, Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Come on.
He not understanding what I was trying to.
No. Downtown, no.
Cynthia Williams.
Okay, Ms. Williams, you also have been charged with the possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute and possession of a felony amount of marijuana, but you also have a possession of cocaine charge. So your total bond is going to be $20,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date is going to get waived upon your bonding out. Then you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Sure.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
I do. For the last charge, I told the police and so did the individual that the cocaine belonged to, that it was for them. He admitted to it already. They told me and him, tell it to the judge in the morning. And now I'm here at the judge and they're saying that basically is nothing. Like me telling you does nothing. But we literally told them when it happened that who it was for, all of our belongings were together. Even in the evidence bag, everything was together. So for them to just put it in my name, we didn't understand. And he told, they admitted, I'm sorry, I can't even get my words together.
Hold on. Take a deep breath, ma'am. So right now, these are all allegations. You have not been convicted of anything. The charges that you have before you are charges that at this stage, I just have to make a technical determination. So
Even if the person already admitted to guilt, they told the police that. They said that they didn't care. Tell the judge in the morning.
So that's something that your lawyer could get these charges dismissed if the officer wrote that in their incident report that I don't have before me. Okay, are you listening, ma'am?
I am.
Okay, so I have appointed a lawyer for you. The lawyer can get the body cam. The lawyer can get all kind of evidence that will back up what you're saying. Your lawyer can also get these charges dismissed if it's readily available and they go to the district attorney's office. Okay?
Okay. I also want to ask about my I'm in the Army, so how does this process work for me? I know there's more to it than everybody else.
So if you are you currently deployed or you're just in the, okay. If you are under deployment, your commanding officer could actually come and request that you be placed in the commanding officer's custody, and they'll basically keep you at the base. These charges are something that they could lead to a less than honorable discharge. The charges alone. I mean, it was a bunch of people arrested at this location. I don't know what was going on, but you're going to have to basically rely upon your lawyer. Okay. Any other questions, ma'am? All right. You're free to go back. That's it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too, thank you.